Don't let them talk you into a new credit card at the store when you go to checkout and they're like, oh, you can save $10 today if you... Hey my Skye Savers, welcome back to my channel, or welcome. I'm Kim and this is World of Skye, a world for women and moms looking to save money and get the most bang for your buck. And today we're talking all about how to use your credit cards responsibly. You want to avoid these credit card mistakes at all costs. We are not trying to make these mistakes. Before we jump into the video, please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel if you have not done so already. Trust me girl, your purse, your wallet, your bank account will thank you. Before signing your name to a shiny new credit card, think about how you are going to use that card. Are you going to be using it to make everyday purchases? Is it strictly going to be used for emergencies? Will you only use that card when you travel? Things like that. Plan out how you are actually going to use the card. A credit card is a great tool if used correctly and responsibly. But if not, it can really cause you to accrue a lot of debt and it can be a huge burden to get out of it. So with that being said, use some of these tips in this video to help you avoid common credit card mistakes. The first mistake is treating a credit card like free money, like balling, spend a little here, spend a little there, like you have all of this money, okay? That's a mistake. It's easy to overspend, very easy to overspend if you lose sight of the fact that that little plastic shiny card, every time you swipe it, is adding to your bill. You know, you can't actually see the money on a credit card, and so it's easy to kind of lose sight and overspend. Overspending and maxing out your credit card can really hurt your credit score. So that is something that you want to avoid. For me, I only put on my credit card what I know I can afford to pay off in full every single month. Emergencies being the exception sometimes. The second mistake is carrying a balance month to month and kind of just rolling over that balance. A lot of people think that carrying over a balance month to month actually helps your credit score. Alert, that is wrong. It actually hurts your credit score. And it's costing you more money. By carrying a higher balance, you will have a higher utilization rate. This rate is calculated by the amount of debt that you have compared to your credit limit. Okay, so let's say that you have a balance of $400 on a credit card that has a $1,000 limit. Your utilization rate would be 40%. If you had a $700 balance on that same card with a $1,000 limit, your utilization rate would instead be 70%, okay? So the higher your utilization rate is, the more hurtful it is to your credit score. The recommendation out there is to keep your credit utilization rate under 30%. And like I said before, carrying a balance month to month is also costing you more because you are paying interest on top of interest on top of interest, okay? You want to avoid that. The third mistake is only making your minimum payments each month. Of course, remember to make at least the minimum payment every single month and do that on time so that you're not accruing any late fees. But you should strive to pay the full balance and not just the minimum payment. If you only make the minimum payment every single month, you will fall victim to compounding interest, okay? And compounding interest is it's bad, okay? It's bad. It could add months or even years. Yes, girl, years to how long it takes you to pay off that debt. If you are enjoying this video thus far, and I hope you are, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. It does really help me out. The fourth mistake is missing a payment, just flat out not making your payment. Missed payments and or late payments can just completely wreak havoc on your credit score. If you have missed or late payments, you will see a big drop in your credit score. The further past due you are, the more and more it will hurt your FICO score. Also, missed and late payments can result in late fees and penalty APR, which means you are paying more money, okay? So missing payments, being late, it really can hurt you bad, okay? So you want to try to avoid missing payments or making late payments if you can. The fifth mistake is not reviewing your credit card statement. A lot of people get their credit card statement and they don't look at it, or you have it delivered electronically to your email and you never open that email. That's a mistake, girl. You want to be reviewing your purchases or your statement often, very often. I will be saying to log into your account and check this at least a couple of times a week. At minimum, make sure that you're checking it every single month. When you are reviewing and looking over your statement, you want to make sure that all the transactions and the purchases are actually something that you made, right? You don't want to be paying for errors. You also don't want to be paying for any fraudulent transactions on your account. And by checking frequently, you're able to identify a transaction that was not you quickly and notify your card issuer. So it's easy to check. Take a couple minutes a few times throughout the week, log into the app and check and see and make sure that everything is legit. Comment down below and let me know how often you check your credit card statements, or this can also go for how often do you check your bank accounts. For me, I'm like an every other day type of girl. The sixth mistake is just not choosing the right card for you. So you might choose a cashback card in order to earn rewards on like your everyday purchases. So you play this game of failing to maximize the rewards and leaving some money on the table versus the game of overspending just to get the cashback rewards. So an easy way to remedy this problem is to align with a card that gives rewards for areas that you already spend the most money in. Also, check out this video that I did about the different types of credit cards. It will also walk you through how to find the best credit card for you. The seventh mistake is not knowing your APR or your fees. Girl, how are we going to tackle credit cards if you do not know the APR or the other fees associated with your account? So when you sign up for a credit card, they will give you all of this information. It's like in a little pamphlet or really small writing. Most people don't read it. But girl, you need to read it. You may not need to read it from front to back. However, you want to know and identify these fees. Number one, you want to know what your purchase APR is. APR stands for annual percentage rate, and it's the yearly rate that purchases are charged when you carry a balance month to month. You also want to know the balance transfer APR, and this is the interest rate for any balance transfers. You need to know the balance transfer fee. When you transfer debt, you will likely be charged a fee, and it's typically anywhere from like 3 to 5%. So know what that fee is if you need to do a balance transfer. The next fee that you want to know about is the penalty APR. The penalty APR is a higher interest rate than your normal APR for late or missed payments. So remember when I was talking about it can cost you more because fees start adding up if you miss your late payments? You want to know what the penalty APR is for your card. You also want to know, is there an annual fee for this card? And an annual fee is a fee that you're charged every single year just to have access to that card. Annual fees is one that you can easily avoid. There's tons of cards out there that have great rewards programs, and so I suggest trying to find cards that do not have an annual fee. You also want to know what that late payment fee is. If you pay your credit card bill late, you may get charged, let's say, $29 for that first time, and then $39 for each subsequent time after that. Those late fees are getting added onto your balance, and then you are paying interest on your balance plus interest on those late fees. So know how much the late fees are and try to avoid them. And the last fee that you want to be familiar with is what is a foreign transaction fee? And that is a fee that they charge you for making purchases outside of the US. Those are the fees that you want to at least know if you don't read anything else in that tiny little pamphlet. The eighth mistake is applying for too many credit cards. Each time that you apply for a new credit card, a new inquiry appears on your credit report. And that new inquiry could temporarily shave like a few points off of your credit score. Having too many inquiries or applying to too many credit cards at once looks risky to lenders, and that could hurt you as well. To avoid this, do your research up front and so you can find the credit card that is right for you. And only apply for new credit cards when you absolutely need them. Don't let them talk you into applying for a new credit card when you go check out at the store and they're like, oh, you could save $10 today if you apply for our credit card. Don't do that. It's not worth it, girl. That $10 you're saving is not worth the hit that it's going to take on your credit report and also the potential amount of debt that you could accrue at that store. It's not worth it, okay? Don't do that. The ninth mistake is taking out a cash advance. Woo! This is a mistake. A cash advance is taking out cash out of the ATM from your credit card, not from your debit card. The bad news with cash advances is that as soon as you withdraw that money, you start accruing interest on that money immediately. Then on top of that, you will likely also be hit with a cash advance fee. Okay, so it's money on top of money on top of money when you do a cash advance. So try to avoid this. Exhaust all of your other resources first and use this as a final last resort. And the 10th credit card mistake is actually closing out a credit card. So you're thinking like, wait, you told me not to open up too many credit cards and closing one can also hurt me? Yes, closing out a credit card can hurt your score. Here's how. How long you've had your credit cards is a factor in determining your credit score. When you actually close a card, it reduces your average length of credit. So let's say that you have 2 credit cards and you've had one of them open for 6 years, you've had the other one open for 3 years. If you average the 6 and the 3 years, your average is 4.5 years of credit length. Now, if you close out that 6-year-old credit card and you only have the 3-year-old one, your average is now 3 years. Your average now drops from 4.5 years down to 3 years. Okay, so you get the difference. If you have to close out a credit card, because there are reasons that you may have to close out a credit card at some point, maybe you're getting charged an annual fee and you don't want to pay that fee anymore, so you want to close a card. Whatever you do, try to avoid closing your oldest credit card because that is going to have the most impact and affect you the most. Okay, so those are 10 credit card mistakes, you guys. There are more mistakes. There are more mistakes that could be made, but these are the 10 big ones. Now that you know about these mistakes, make sure that you avoid them, okay? Before you go, please make sure that you do subscribe to my channel. I do post new videos every single week, and they are pertaining to saving you money in some fashion. That is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you in my next video. Happy saving!